Hello, my name is KAWANGU LUKAMA. I'm a student of civil engineering at NIT Rockefeller. So what we'll do today is that we're going to learn how to design and model a building using Staad Pro. Staad Pro is a software mainly used by civil engineers to design buildings. It is a widely used software. So the icon for the Staad Pro is this one. So what we'll do is that we're going to open it. This is what will come. So the first thing that we'll do is we shall configure our setup. So configuration is here. This pop-up window will come. We need to choose our base unit. So since we are in India, the base unit that India uses is a metric system. So it's this one. You can also try to configure the global axis if we want. You can change this to Z up, but we'll use Y up in this video. So after we've done all that we need to use, here we can change the code. Since we're in India, we use the IS 800 code for steel, ISO 56 for RCC, and others. So then we accept this. The next step that we are going to do is we're going to add a new project. So after we do this, this is what appears: the space plane flow truss. Since we are designing and modeling a building, we are going to choose the space option. So it's a model building is a space diagram. And then here we're going to add our file name. So we're going to say design of a building part 1. And then we're going to choose our units. In this example or in this video, we're going to use millimeters and newtons. We press next, and then this what follows. Here we shall add beam, not plate, since we are designing this building using beams. Then we'll finish. This is the window that pops up. So there is this thing, snap mode that comes here. Let's just cancel this. And this is what pops up. So what we see here is the main setup of Staad Pro. We have got options here. These are options. Some of these are shortcuts. So let's start by knowing some of the most important options here. We've got this model, this part says add beams. This is what we select when you want to draw a beam. So every beam that we draw, whether it's a standalone beam or a beam as part of a structure, before we draw it, we select here. This is what we call a node scaler. This is what we select when we want to draw nodes. So nodes such as the nodes can represent columns or points. This is what we select before we select those columns. Before we select those nodes, we select this point. This is called a beam scaler. If you want to select beams, we press here. So this is a beam scaler. And then this part is where you find geometry, the geometry of a building. The general part, that's where you find the property. If assigning properties such as the shape of the beams, the shape of the columns, the specifications too. This is where you find specifications of the whole structure, support, the type of support, whether it's fixed, fixed, if it's pinned, or any other type of support. The load definition is where we assign loads. When you press here, after we have drawn the geometry part of the building, and then you want to assign the loads, we press here. Then the material, so we can press here if we want to see decide which material do we need to use, whether it's aluminium or concrete or steel or stainless steel. So I think this is it for the general part. And then after we finished the general part, we can analyze the building, so we see if the structure is structurally stable. So we use this option. This is called analysis and print. So we'll get that. I'll get to it later. And then we can also design. After analysis, we can design the building using this option. So we can choose, as you can see here, we can choose the code depending on our region. So since we're in India, we use the IS 800 or IS 456 or IS any other code that we use, depending on the type of design to use, whether it's RCC or steel or any other type. So now let's go here. This option presents the type of view. So when you press here, we're looking at it from the Z direction. So if we draw a structure on this part, on this pane window, and then we press here, we'll be able to look at it from the direction coming from the Z direction. And then this part, from the negative part of the Z direction, this part, the X direction, is the positive part, it's negative part, and the positive part is the plan view. And then this is isometric view. So you press here if you want to check the isometric view of a building model. And then these options here are used to rotate. Rotate up, rotate down, rotate left, rotate right. And then this option, if we want to display the whole structure, maybe we had zoomed in on a specific part of a structure, and then we would want to display the whole structure, we'll press here. As you can see, it says display whole structure. And then this part is a dynamic zoom. We'll talk about the data. The zoom, all these are zooms. These are for zoom. And then this part, if we want to see a 3D rendered view of a structure, after maybe we've done the buildings, we've done the projections, we've done the geometry, we can see the 3D rendered view using this option. And then this is the magnifying glass, this is the pan view. I think some of these options, such as select certain types, we select the beams, caisson. These options are the ones which are here. So it's best to just use these ones and go an extra step. And some, when beams parallel to what, you know what this means in later videos. And then tools, we can use these tools to find, for example, use this way to find the select current display unit. So we can use this one to find the dimensions beam. But most of these are also here. We'll talk about that later. Yes. And analyze this one. After we've done the analysis and print here, the next step I'm going to do, we can add, either we choose what we need to add in the project or in the status report, we can add here. After doing that, we go here and analyze the project. So this is maybe the introduction part. So we'll come and start drawing our main project in the next video. Thank you.